Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk Real Estate with Trevor and Britt.
Hey!
We have a couple of awesome topics to talk about today. The first one that we're going to talk about for buyers is what do listing descriptions actually mean with the different types of wording? So, hidden real estate meaning.
The hidden language behind all the real estate. And we're going to help you guys look at these listing descriptions and really decipher what they really mean when they're saying all of these words. So, have you ever scrolled through Zillow and see words like cozy or charming? Those aren't just descriptions, they're code. Let us translate what they really mean. So, what does cozy mean?
It's
tiny.
Small AF.
Super cozy. But if you like that, that's good. But we just want to let you know that cozy means small. You'll be dodging furniture corners. So just, let you know when it says cozy, just know it's a little tight.
A little tight.
What about needs TLC?
Bring your wallet.
That means you're gonna have to spend. So if you're okay with having to spend a little bit to get what you want when you go into these properties, just know that when it needs a little bit of TLC, it's gonna need some tender love and care. It needs some help. It needs some work. It needs something to help it get to that status of either living, and some people take it a little too far. Sometimes TLC is like demo and rehab. So it just all depends on what that agent's definition of TLC really means. But just know you're gonna have to put in some work. So if you're going to a house and you see the listing description says needs TLC, you gotta put some work in.
If I'm an investor, I love finding houses that have the description of needs TLC because that just means that's opportunity. For an end consumer, TLC is whoa. If you are that handyman type of person or handy lady or have the funds to do it, there's nothing wrong with TLC. That's opportunity. But from an end consumer that's trying to close and move in right away, it's not necessarily the right house for you.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that it also gives you a little bit of wiggle room potentially in the price too. Mm-hmm. So if you know that it needs TLC, sometimes, especially when it comes to the investor prices, they price a little bit higher so that you can come in at $10,000 lower and they actually still get the price that they want, but they priced it higher on purpose. So don't ever shy away from things that you think may be a little bit out of your price range, especially if it gives you that description of needing some TLC.
Personally, I love TLC, needing TLC. Moderate TLC, not major TLC, but moderate TLC is my go-to. But I'm also handy and know how to do things.
Me. Not at all. So what about quiet neighborhoods? Nothing wrong with that, guys. Let's just first say that small little caveat. When we're talking about these words or these coded words, there's nothing wrong with these words. We just want to let you know what the meaning is behind them and what to expect when you see them. So when you see a quiet neighborhood, if you love the quiet neighborhood, just know that it may be quiet, but it also may be far from the stores, far from the freeway. If you're looking for easy access to things, quiet neighborhood can mean it's a little bit of a distance away from where you're trying to get to.
You out in the boonies. That's what quiet neighborhood means. It's nice, and being from somebody who grew up in the country, that's nice. Quiet is nice, but if you're looking for that city feel sometimes, you're going to be far away from everything. So quiet is nice, but if you're looking for like that city feel, close to proximity and stuff like that, it's a little bit farther away.
Right, and take this time to see. Like I know when I bought my house, I'm a huge shopper. I like to shop, and I like to go over my mom's house. So the three things I did was I saw the distance between both malls, Somerset and 12 Oaks, so that's where I shop, and my mom's house. So I needed to know that distance before I put an offer on anything. So if you're concerned with schools, or you're concerned if you're going out of district and your child goes to a private school or somewhere, look at those distances between the most frequent areas you go to, whether it's your parents' house, your grandparents' house. Where do you spend the most of your time? Work, right? Where do you spend the most of your time? And if you need that under 15-minute range, make sure you do that before you even go see a house, because it's a waste of time if you already know that you're way too far and out of the proximity. Now, sometimes if you love the house, then maybe. But at the same token, if your major concern is about being close to your mom or being close to the school or being close to the highway, take into consideration of doing that GPS before you get to go see the house. And make sure your agent knows, because the more you tell your agent, the more you disclose about what you're looking for, the quicker they can find you the house that you're looking for.
Yes. Quiet's nice.
But what about vintage? What does that mean?
It ain't been updated since the 1980s. That's what that means.
So again, if you like that style, then sure. But just know that vintage means classic, means probably wallpaper, old tiles, pink bathrooms, blue bathrooms, marble. I went to a house not too long ago, and the entire bathroom was all the same tile, from the floor to the walls, even in the shop, like the whole bathroom was done with this tile. I'm like, what were they thinking? I wish I had a video so I could show you guys. If I do, I'll make sure I pop it in there so you can see it through the video, but I'm not sure if I do. But it was wild. It was different.
Vintage is the paneling. I think that's the biggest one for me when I think of vintage, like all of the brown wood tone style paneling.
I had that. The shag carpet, I had that when I bought my house.
Shag carpet for sure.
I bought it at a bargain so that I could make it what I wanted, and I had shag carpet, I had paneled walls, I had big boulders for a fireplace design. The boulders were huge. They were carrying out, it was crazy. They had it was a mess. But yes, so vintage, if you like that, that's what it means. It's probably dated, really dated, 20, 30 years dated, 40. So just keep that in mind.
40 some odd years now,
Yes.
because 80s is at least 45 years ago.
Oh, that's crazy. So what about those houses that are investor special? If you're not an investor, don't buy them.
Investor special means just bring the
Be an
pocketbook
investor.
again, be ready to do everything, bring the toolbox, tool belt, studs,
everything.
paint, drywall, everything.
Contractors, yes, it all. And if you need some
HVAC
references
professionals.
for any of those professionals, please let us know in the comments below, and we will be sure to send you our book of vendors if you need those while you're watching this video. Just comment below your email address and your name, and we'll send it right over.
So tons of potential.
There's a reason it's been sitting on the market. Tons of potential. I mean, there's so many words you can wrap around tons of potential. So the house has potential, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means you're going to need to bring the potential with you to actually get it to the potential. So you have to do some things. Update the floors, update the kitchens, the bathroom. I wouldn't necessarily call that an investor special. I don't think it would fit in that category.
No.
But it's a solid house. It's great for a home buyer that's gonna come in and zhuzh it up, make it look better.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it's not necessarily dated. It may be out of style for a said particular area or whatever the case may be. So those are like when you think about potential. This house has potential. You need to do a little bit to get it to where it meets its value, I should say.
Right. And it's always interesting when you look at a new listing and it has that wording right away. You're just inviting yourself to have that house on the market for long periods of time, unless you have people lined up that are in that realm of interest for that home style or category. So, so tons of potential is that specific type of buyer pool, and not everybody's in that buyer pool. Most of the time, they're not in that buyer pool. If you put that in a listing, you're going to attract some buyers that are look for the handyman or
ready to bulldoze
the price, or you're an investor. One of two things. Unless your pictures are really good, you're not going to have a ton of buyers that are looking to jump on it right away. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would agree. So just be careful, and I can say that for the realtors out there too. Be careful of the words you use. And I know, there's chat and all the things, but make sure that you are saying the right words so you attract the right buyers and the right people to come and visit your house, because every single word matters, and it all will look different to the consumer's eye depending on what you're saying. So if you have an ideal client that you want for this purchase, then be sure to attract that person by the listing description, because those consumers are out there reading, and we're out here telling them what to look for. So
I mean, piggybacking off of that, when we do listing tickets, sometimes it sometimes is good to just be straightforward. If it's an investor special, I mean, people aren't gonna waste their time. Yeah. So jazzing it up with some of these words is one thing, but when the house needs TLC, it's pretty good to be straightforward and just tell the consumer that, to not waste anybody's time, so that investors know that it's really more tailored to them.
What else? Charming and unique.
It is one heck of a quirky layout and floor layout.
And I think, I'm trying to think of, like, as we're doing this, what is the first thing that comes to mind when you say charming and unique? I think old. When I say charming, I think old. I think smaller.
Odd finishes.
Yeah. When it says charming, I don't know. I would have to go and see, like, what. And everybody's definition of charming is different. So, comment below some stuff that you think. What does the word charming describe to you when you think about a charming house? Somebody's grandmother lives in there. That's what I think about grandma.
Yeah.
I think, oh, my cute little grandma. So just beware of that word as well. Original owner.
Nothing has been done to it since they bought the house.
Possibly. I know. I remember, keep in mind, guys, all these things are just us letting you know what the possibilities of it is. I still encourage you, if you like the house, get out there, see it, have your realtor take you out there, but just be forewarned of your expectation. I know we've talked about the emotional roller coaster several times on several different episodes, so just know to underestimate versus overestimate, especially when it comes to those photos. So the original owners, nothing probably has been touched, and you want to see if it's the original owner and the house was built in 2009. But the house was built in 1927, and that might be an issue. And I'm sure those pictures will be able to tell that too. So just be cautious of that.
Photos coming soon means
trying to clean up.
Mid fixing something up before they are willing to put it on the market with new photos.
And sometimes people, and also, again, take this with a grain of salt. It could mean that they're just waiting for the photographer to get their photos back, and depending on who you hire, it may not be 24 hours. And
that one is a little bit more gray area, because half the time sometimes sellers just want to list the house right now, and you don't have time to get pictures. So that one's not as I wouldn't say any of these are alarming, but the layout or whatnot of the house or the photos, that's just more of a timing thing versus not a red flag, but
so just ask, where are the photos? What about open concepts? So open concepts means that the walls came down. That's great, but you could have potentially, depending on when the house was built, you could have potentially lost storage. So those houses that were built probably from the 50s to the 80s, late 80s, they had a lot of closet space. So if you see that they're built in between those years and there is an open concept, because open concepts are more popular in the last 15 to 20 years, more popular, I should say. Yeah. They were around, but they're more popular. That's what people crave for.
That's the now, and I think the future.
Right, exactly, 100%, because people
open
love
floor concept
all of that.
Is everything.
But if you have an older house, then just know that if they did do an open floor concept, they took down some walls, so you want to make sure that the structure is sound. Yep. And then also, where's your closet space? Did the front closet disappear when they took the walls down? Because there's that. Did something else disappear? Did another room that you could have had disappear? All those things matter, and you want to keep that in mind when you hear open concept from a house that is older.
So why agents use this type of language? It's to highlight some positives but soften the negatives, so that psychologically the buyer is still open to going and looking at some of these houses. Everybody does it. There's no getting around it, but this whole episode is formed to inform you as the buyer to understand what did some of these words mean, so that you're informed when you do want to look at a house that needs TLC or is charming or is unique.
And all the things. And as a good buyer's agent, we're going to make sure that we look at the listing description and don't spin your wheels wasting time seeing houses that you just don't like. So again, I would say always a good buyer's consultation from your buyer is the key to knowing exactly what the buyer wants, right? So if you get down to nitty gritty and know what they want, you're able to decipher. And because we are agents and we see these codes and we use these codes ourselves, we know what they mean. And we don't want to put you out on the road and go see 20 houses, and out of the 20, only 2 of them you like, because of all of these crazy little quirky words. So if you're a buyer out there searching right now, watch this video. If you've seen some of these words, let us know in the comments. Agents, if you have any idea as to what these words mean or what your interpretation of these words, we would love to see it. Let's see what's happening. Comment below, leave some comments. Let us know what words you're seeing out there. Now we're going to head over to the sellers. Sellers, let's talk about it.
Well, before we go on to our sellers, if you like this video so far, if you would do us a solid and comment, or share this video, we would greatly appreciate it. because we are trying to get this channel to really take off, and we're just providing this awesome value to you, buyers, sellers, and investors, and all real estate minds alike. So if you would give us a like, follow, and a share, that'd be very much appreciated.
For sure.
On to the next topic.
So the one thing every seller underestimates: momentum. What does that mean? And how do we keep it? So when we go to list a property, you go to list a property and then the clock starts ticking. And that means for everybody, here we go, we're on a roll.
Yep.
And you have to have momentum. And if you lose it, you lose buyers, you lose leverage,
and you lose money.
100%. So let's talk about it. The first 2 weeks.
Most important for your listing, it's your biggest and prime time moment. It really tells you what the market is going to net you. It's going to tell you if you've overpriced it, underpriced it, or if you need to make improvements to it.
For sure. Overpricing kills excitement faster than anything.
Yes.
Even $10,000 too high can stall the traffic of your listing.
Especially in like the first time home buyer price point. Listing a house that's worth $235 and you list it at $245. You're just taking that buyer pool and shrinking it down more than you need to. So if you price it right, we've talked about multiple times in other episodes, price it right, you'll get multiple offers and be able to net a better overall offer for you as the seller to be able to pick what's best for you.
100%. So buyers assume something wrong if the home lingers past 21 days.
Yep.
And then they also think that they can come down on the price too. So just be careful, be mindful. I mean, we can't talk about pricing enough with these sellers. I've had my own instances with price too high and had to drop the price almost immediately to make sure that I don't lose momentum, right? So being a good agent requires us to know if you're not getting hot off the press the first weekend, a lot of showings, something's wrong. Something is 100% wrong, and being able to acknowledge that as your selling agent is, better to get on top of it, do it fast, and making sure. So be realistic, and when your agent suggests a price to you sellers, obviously we'll make the point of showing you all the comps and all the things around. But if you're like, okay, nope, I don't care, my house is worth this much, and then you decide, or the agent is like, okay, well, I'll list it at your price, knowing that is not the price that your agent suggested, just know that it's going to be stalled. It's going to take time.
Yeah. For that first week, if your agent is doing an open houses, and most of the time you should, whether it's your agent or an agent from their office doing an open house, you should have anywhere from 6 to 10. I think that's kind of standard for like that first opening weekend for one open house. That'll tell you volumes of price and popularity of your home.
Right.
How your agent has marketed it. Granted, that's not always like red line, like you need to have X amount, but it's a good baseline because time of the year, whether the Lions or the Tigers or Red Wings or whomever is playing on a Sunday, that might State or Michigan playing. So those different ancillary activities going around in the area will definitely affect your open houses, but baseline wise, if there's nothing going on in the area, no festivals, no whatever, 6 to 10, if you've priced it right, is probably
6 to 10 people.
6 to 10 groups.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could say people too, but
but it's groups really, because most of the time, it's husband and wife or mom and son or whatever.
Right.
But refreshing photos or updating your listing descriptions can help, but it's like restarting a stalled engine. So when you get to that point where you've lost momentum, that's the part where you just want to come out of the gate ready to go, because when you get to adjusting and fixing and changing, then especially if it's a house that people, or an area that people want to be in, they're watching, they're seeing you make these adjustments. They've already seen the house when you first listed it, because if they're on it and they want to buy, they're looking every day like a crazy person. I can speak for myself. I was looking every day like a crazy person. I kept seeing the same houses every day. I kept seeing when the price reduced. I'm like, oh. And so the thought as a consumer, speaking to a seller, okay, well, something's wrong. Why is this house not being sold? Something's happening. Something needs to be done. Okay, I can go in at a lowball price because it's been sitting there. I mean, and that's what you think as a consumer. So just know that that's what these sellers are thinking. The longer your house sits on the market, and
the less momentum you have.
100%.
Because you go from being in the driver's seat to maybe just being willing to take whatever offer you get.
Yeah.
I had that this weekend. Like I was showing houses to a client. That house has been on the market for 90 days, actually a second showing. And the agent had called me once the first time and then again on the second time, basically saying like, oh, between Friday and Tuesday, they've decreased it by 10 grand. And he's like, they'll even be willing to accept XYZ and also maybe give out some concessions. So you really lose your leverage when it comes to days on market. And that house in particular was like 90 days plus. So, you know, the longer it sits, the less leverage you have at getting a good deal or a good offer for you. It's always going to be a good deal because you're the one finally deciding if it's a good deal. But if it's a good offer.
Right. Feedback on showings. I like to talk to my sellers every week on Monday and Friday to kind of let them know what the traffic is. Obviously, if we've got an offer, I'll call in between. Yep. But usually, I set the expectation up front. I'm talking to you Monday because obviously the weekend, so like what the traffic is, and then Monday through Friday, what the traffic is, right? So getting that feedback, and agents, I can't stress this enough. I know our broker just talked about this. Getting that feedback from you guys is so important. And I didn't realize how important because at the start of my career, I was more of a buyer's agent. I'm just now getting more listings under my belt. So I'm like, the feedback is important. And I didn't realize, and so now I'm making a conscious effort myself when I go see houses to leave feedback because that's how we're able to make the seller understand what's happening in the market. And so we don't have to be the person to fight so hard for it because we've got all the data to show you it's overpriced, it's not clean, it's not showing well, they need to do this, X, Y, Z. So when you're a seller's agent, go and talk to your sellers. So sellers, guys, listen to what they're saying. Listen to this feedback. Now you've had 20 showings and every agent is saying the same thing in the feedback. That's a problem.
It's not criticism, it's data.
Data,
and
100%.
Use that data to pivot quickly to what the market is telling you to do. Price reduction, fix XYZ, keep the house in positive momentum going so that you can still get that house sold.
Right, 100%. And that's, moving quickly and adjusting as soon as you see like the continuous like comments or data showing you that something's wrong, being able to adjust quickly and not fight your agent on what the data is showing you is the biggest support you can do to get your house sold. If you want to sell your house, listen to your agent because especially if they're a good one and they're doing all the research prior to and all the things, you want to make sure that you are listening to them and not fighting them back and making the necessary changes accordingly so that you can get your house sold 100%.
Yep. Market momentum isn't just online, it's the momentum of everybody that you have on your team. It's the agents, the lenders, the buyers, all the title companies, like everybody having the same high energy that helps keep the process moving in the right direction and getting your house sold ultimately. Yeah,
and it brings it back to the emotions of it all, making sure that everybody, like you said, is on the same page. Because if everybody's all over the place, then you got that emotional roller coaster that's unnecessary. So making sure that everybody stays on the same page and is working hard to get what you need is all the things that need to be in order to sell your house properly.
Listing is like game day. You've got everybody all on the same page and you're ready to go and win that game. Selling it is obviously the ultimate win. So when you have everybody in the arena all on the same page, ready to go, like that's what it's like, game day.
100%.
Listing is game day.
Yep, momentum sells home, not luck. So nail your pricing, prep, and timing up front. And the market will do the rest. You get it all right on the upfront, market will do the rest. Simple as that.
Absolutely.
We got a little bit of time left to talk about some investor topics. Just a little bit. We're not going to hit that hard. I feel like that was what we talked about today for buyers and sellers was probably the most important to dive into. But, I feel like we talked about investor topics a lot. And you know that the ugly house on the block, what do they say? The hidden gold is in ugly real estate.
It's a gem.
Why the worst house on the block might be the best deal. It's kind of what we'll touch on. So investors love shiny properties, but the real money is hiding in the ugly ones. So here's why the worst house on the block might be the smartest buy for you as an investor.
I mean, curb appeal turns off emotional buyers, but from an investor perspective, you see that it's ugly, you know you're gonna have to do work in it, so they always say buy the ugly duckling in the great neighborhood. If you buy it in a a nicer neighborhood, you have that opportunity to not only improve the ugly duckling, but you'll also probably net a lot more money when it comes to appreciation, your ROI, rental rate, all of the things. So ugly ducklings are always the go-to when you're trying to find an investment property, because it's just
what it is. Yeah.
It's what it is.
Yeah, and ugly homes often have motivated sellers, better negotiation leverage.
Yep.
You have less competition, lower purchase price, like you said, higher potential or ROI. Those are the things that can gear towards an ugly house. I got an ugly house in my neighborhood. If anybody knows where I live, don't go looking for it, because I really, really, really want it. But it's crazy. It's the craziest, weirdest. It looks atrocious. I'm not even gonna hold you up. And somebody lives in the house. Somebody lives there. But
What is it, a hoarder house?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. I keep seeing random cars parked in the driveway, but all the trees are overgrown. The gutters are falling off. It's just wild. And I want to go knock your door, but I'm kind of scared. So, again, take somebody with you if you're scared. Yeah. And go see. If that ugly house is calling your name and you see it out there, investors, go grab it. Cosmetic problems are cheap to fix and instant value. Paint, carpet, landscaping, that stuff is an easy, quick fix. You can get that stuff down. Now, structural or location issues, that's where you draw the line and you learn how to spot the difference. When you have, I have heavy investor clients, and those structural issues, we go the other way. That's immediate. That's the first spot I go to when I go into an investor special or an investor home or looking for my investors.
I normally go the opposite way too. It's a lot of upfront cost to get a foundation fixed up to where it is not sagging or the floor's not dropping. It's just structurally or foundation wise, they kind of are very worrisome on my perspective. It's just a lot of capital, liability, a lot of everything worrisome.
Right, 100%. And the before house in the great neighborhood usually becomes the after comp. So take that and know that that ugly house will probably be how they start basing these comps in the neighborhood. So buy one ugly and keep buying them. And that's really all we got for you guys. Investors, sellers, buyers. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think about these words that we mentioned. Let us know what you're thinking about as far as selling your house. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, please comment below. We'll reach out with your name and email address. And that's Real Talk Real Estate with Trevor and Britt. We'll see you guys next week.